What's up? So what's going on, Sally? Tell us your full name.
Okay, it's Sally Ann Ayers.
Sally Ann Ayers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Sally Ann Ayers. What other names do you go by out here?
Rooster.
Rooster. As I said before, I believe that's because you're up early, and as you said, you're red hair, correct?
Yep.
So tell us, Sally, where'd you grow up?
Baltimore County, specifically Towson.
Baltimore County. As is typical out here, the car horn going off. So, what was your childhood like?
Normal. I mean, my parents got divorced when I was 11, so that wasn't cool. But we got by. My father moved out of the house, and my mother they had a house, so they sold the house, and she ended up moving in an apartment, and we were in that apartment for about 10 years until she got another place to move to that she could buy. But my childhood was, I mean, I liked school. School was all right. I didn't know what I was going to do with myself, but school was all right.
Right. So what did you do for a job in your older years, since you said that you didn't know what you wanted to do? What did you do for a job?
Well, I worked when I was 18. I worked for GVMC doing patient information for 10 years on the weekends, because I was going to go to college, so I was going to school during the day and working part-time on the weekends. And then when I started going to college, I was doing security work because I had a car, and I could go to places and watch different buildings and car lots and places that were moving, or having things stored while they were remodeling and didn't want their construction equipment messed with, or their boxes messed with, and stuff like that. Just bad neighborhoods and different areas. So, and had my own video store in '92, and I had that for 2 years, and that was in Towson. But unfortunately, we had the great blizzard, and I was on the second floor, and it caved in my store, the roof. So we had a little bit of a problem, and roof damage, and so we had to. It was time to find another location. I'd grown too big for the 600 square feet, and I didn't like. I wasn't smart when I did the terms of my lease. I should have done like a 5-year lease instead of just going 1 year, knowing that it would go up 10% every year. And that 10% kind of hurt. I had managed that in my business plan. So, and then I had employees because the internet was just starting back in '92, where you could dial up, and if you had a computer, which I did with my store, and I ended up with a $3,000 phone bill, and that just about sold me. That was the end of the store at that location. And I was hoping to reopen someplace else, but between Blockbuster and my small mom and pop just couldn't compete, the bigger chains. So, but it was nice while it lasted. I enjoyed it.
You have a very colorful work history.
Yes.
I would say.
Yeah.
So, what year did you become homeless?
I want to say 2008. I dated all the wrong men. Had a terrible, terrible streak of dating all the wrong men. That's why I'm still single and gonna be 60. But yeah, I dated a guy. We were living in a hotel. He told me he'd gotten a job on my birthday, believe it or not, and he was going to get paid every 2 weeks. Well, of course, he was in the interim of the week, so it means he wouldn't get his first paycheck for 3. So I was paying my end of the hotel rent, and when the 3 weeks came up that he needed to pay his, that's when he told me he had lied. Thank God I didn't have anything like knives. But we got evicted out of a hotel. I've never been evicted out of a hotel. I've been asked to leave, but I've never had an actual eviction notice with Baltimore County cops and everything else. But It wasn't Baltimore County, it was Howard County, so it was a whole different situation. But that hotel doesn't exist anymore either, so it's okay. And he's no longer in my life as well. I ended up sending him to jail twice, so I should have been an omen of things to come. So, but you live and learn. You know, some people have faith in people that you hope you can change, and it just doesn't happen. So, and this one was just, I don't want to call him a bad egg, but he just was a tough nut.
Tough nut to crack.
Tough nut, yeah. He just wasn't one that wanted to listen, and ended up getting involved with somebody I knew that I couldn't believe. And he was honest with me. He was, oh, I want to be involved with that girl. Huh. Oh my God, you do? I said, well then say goodbye to me then, you know. And well, that's what happened. But it was actually the best thing that could have happened. So
sometimes that's how life works out, right?
Yep. They were two birds of a feather, and they needed to flock together.
So then after getting kicked out of that hotel, that led into you being homeless.
Yeah. Well, we spent a lot of living in tents, and then living in hotels for, you know, sometimes a week, sometimes a month. As I said, we finally moved out here to Baltimore County from Howard County because I had to get out of Howard County. There was too much domestic violence with this one gentleman that was the tough nut. So after he tried to burn the hotel that I was in, which he did successfully do, and they charged him with arson, and they gave him 10 years. I was told by the state's attorney not to have anything to do with him, and I decided it was time to change counties. So we went from Howard County to Baltimore. And then we were successful in finding a place to rent. However, the gentleman that I was renting with had stage 4 lung cancer and didn't know it until we had just rented this place. And we were there for 2 years until he finally, we lost the lease. He wasn't going to rent to us after the lease was up the second year. And he had to go into a hospice anyway, and after 30 days he had gone with the Lord. And now I'm recouping again. And as I said, I could stay with a friend of mine that is older, but I just can't handle him. I can't handle somebody 79 in love with me. I'm not ready for that. And he's very Italian, which is fine, but very headstrong. And he thinks he knows everything, and that just drives me that makes my anxiety go crazy. So it doesn't work.
So with that said, Sally, what would you say is the best thing about being homeless?
Oh goodness, no bills. It really isn't a best thing. It truly sucks, because you always have to be aware of the weather. You got to be aware of the people. You have to be aware of those in the community that are going to oppose you and that don't have a life and want to follow you and take pictures and put you on Facebook and everything else, and take your stuff and throw it away, or take your stuff and rip it up, or take your stuff and burn it.
I remember stories, Sally, I heard of people throwing raw meat at you at night when you were sleeping.
Yeah, they threw rocks and meat, and
it's horrible.
And you know, some people don't have a life, you know. So, and then they'll yell out their windows, you know, get out of town, get a job. And actually, I have been trying to get a job, but the job I've been trying to get is, well, a lot of people want to get involved with the company. I'd rather not say what company, but I'm not giving up. So I have an interview for Tuesday, but my little other homeless friend decided that it was time to break my glasses. As you see, I don't have glasses on.
That's right, you were telling me that.
So now my glasses are broke. So now we should have gone to Walmart today to get them fixed, but I was too pissed off. But he called the police, and I was like, oh, this is somebody who really does care.
Well, and that's another thing people don't realize, right, about getting a job when you're homeless is, it's not always easy to get a phone when you don't have an ID and things like that. And when you don't have a phone, you can't put it on an application, they can't call you. There's so many things involved with it, right?
Well, it's true, but normally you can find somebody that'll let you have, take a message or receive a phone call so they can relay it back to you. And then there's always text now, so at least you can tell them that they can send you a text. And as long as you can get to the library and get on text now, as you can get headphones that have a microphone, then you can talk to them regular.
Amen. Well, I think that's the difference between you and some other people. You're a hustler. You find a way to make it happen, right?
Well, you gotta, or you're gonna stay in the same rut. And I don't like staying in the same rut because it gets boring.
Amen. So let me ask you this, Sally, our last question. What would you tell people that you want them to know about homelessness? Or what would you want to tell people that maybe look at homelessness a different way than you?
Everybody's situation is different. They all, sometimes it's financial, sometimes it's relationships, sometimes it's parents, sometimes it's you. You just want to get away from it all and walk away from everything. I've known people just to walk, away, and of course, the landlord evicts them, throws all the crap out. But sometimes you need a change, but there are other ways to change other than becoming homeless. Some people give up. Some people have mental illness and become homeless. Some people have drug addictions and become homeless. But you have to fight your demons. You have to decide. Only you can change you. And unless you're going to take that initiative and get your act together, not, any of these recovery centers, not, you can get help from churches, but unless you really want to move forward, and I mean move forward, not just be in the same rut, you're going to be not moving forward. You got to want a job, and jobs aren't easy. I had a local pizza place wanted me to come make pizzas, and I just didn't think it was the right fit. And he goes, well, you don't want a job. Yes, I do want a job, but I'm more of a customer service person than I am a food service person. I could answer your phones and handle your cash register better than I can make pizzas. And trying to make somebody in management understand this is hard, because all they're looking at is you on the outside when you know what your abilities are and what you can do better. Not that you couldn't try. I told him I'd try. I said, I can try, but I said, I'm scared I'm going to get bored real quick. Day in, day out, making pizzas. And I was like, it's not, when I worked for a moving company, it was always a different location. Sure, you're moving stuff, you're moving offices and stuff like this. It's table, chairs, contents and all that. But it's still going from point A to point B. So, but he, as I said, he sat there and told me, well, I've hired somebody else anyway. Well, the sign's still up, so who's lying to who? I mean, if you hired somebody, take the damn sign down. I don't get you. It don't make no sense. But, those of us that are out here know, who, what the game is. And I don't really want to call it a game, but, finding a job is, it's how creative can you be? And if you can't find something that you like, then you got to make something and be able to hustle and do it, or you're not gonna survive, I mean, it's hard to say, but you just gotta you gotta want to get out of that rut, and until you want to get out of that rut, you're gonna stay in the rut.
Amen. Amen. Well, Sally, thank you, sweetheart, for your time. Is there anything else you want to say?
Good luck to everybody. And as I said, the more people make sure that when you go get a job, you've got some references, you've got phone numbers. Because when you go, whether you're online or it's a paper application, if you don't know those phone numbers, you're screwed. So,
Amen.
And, if you've got some personal resources, the references, and you can put them down, and the numbers are right, and the people are worthy that will say something good about you, you're 50% in the game. Because you've got somebody batting in your corner. And you've got to have that support. to get a job. That's the best I can tell.
Absolutely. Sally, thank you for sharing that wealth of knowledge. You have a great night, all right?
You too, and good luck to everybody.